We're riding Missouri's 240-mile Katy Trail State Park using cross-state, bike-friendly, twice-daily Amtrak service to support shorter, laid-back segments. See our series intro video for background on using bikes with Amtrak. Here we're discussing the logistics of riding a 3-day, out-and-back trip along the 35.5-mile stretch between the Sedalia trailhead and the trail's western end at Clinton, using Amtrak to reach Sedalia. This segment could reasonably be ridden in 2 days, but stretching it to 3 gave us more time to appreciate trailside features and fit better with Amtrak's schedule. Day 1, we arrived on a midday Amtrak and rode to Windsor. Day 2, rode to Clinton and back to Windsor. And Day 3, returned to Sedalia and took Amtrak home. If you've arrived in Sedalia by train, you'll need to ride about a half-mile along wide, quiet streets to reach the restored Katy depot that serves as the local trailhead. Even if you didn't arrive by train, consider heading up onto the Washington Avenue Bridge, just east of the Amtrak station, for a view across the modern main line and the now overgrown expanse that was once a Missouri Pacific Railroad yard, with a view out to the Katy depot in the distance. You can also check out the abandoned Katy Freight House next to the bridge. This segment may traverse Missouri's Osage Plains region, but it's far from flat, as we discussed in our parallel series on trailside geology and nature. This is also one of the more remote segments of the trail, with few services and widely spaced trailheads. While much of the corridor has trailside tree cover, other sections are quite open and exposed. Given all this, keep in mind that strong weather is quite possible on the Osage Plains, and can really affect a Katy Trail ride. On our Day 2, overnight storms had left a series of downed trees across the trail, though state park crews were quickly on the job cleaning up the debris. On Day 3, we encountered multiple unforecasted storms, and while we managed to reach the Green Ridge Trailhead shelter just ahead of one downpour, we had to ride through or wait out others in the open. If you're trying to meet a train in Sedalia, make sure you account for possible trail conditions when planning your final day. The fine gravel trail surface is normally pleasant to ride on, but becomes sticky and messy pretty quickly when wet. If storms are a concern, it might not hurt to have the number of a local bike shuttle service handy. Fortunately, the Sedalia depot makes a good place to dry out and even warm up after an on-trail drenching. An obvious and enjoyable stopping point is Windsor. In our out-and-back trip, staying here both nights let us stash some gear and food, meaning we had an especially light load for the day ride to Clinton and back. There are various lodging and camping options in Windsor, but we've consistently loved staying at Kim's Cabins, owned by an influential advocate for regional rail trails. These kitchen-equipped trailside cabins are within easy reach of downtown, which hosts various dining options including a nice cafe, as well as an interesting historical museum. Windsor is also the junction between the Katy Trail and the Rock Island Trail. Just north of town, the latter heads off 47.5 miles toward the outskirts of Kansas City. Trail advocates dream of completing the Rock Island Trail into the heart of Kansas City and east across the northern Ozarks toward St. Louis, and we love to imagine being able to ride a grand loop across Missouri. In the meantime, if you have time, you can always add an out and back along part of the Rock Island to your itinerary. It's also possible to complete a bike rail loop along this segment of the Rock Island Trail, though you'll need to do some road riding to bridge the 14-mile gap between the trailhead at Pleasant Hill and the nearest Amtrak station at Lee's Summit. We intend to cover this in a future video. The official trail's end at Clinton is an underwhelming location, just an obscure lot near a highway on the north side of town, though it does have a caboose with some nice prairie plantings. The trail can't continue further because the rails are still technically in service from here further south. But if you're willing to explore, Clinton's historic downtown is worth riding a few more miles on mostly quiet streets. The shady Courthouse Square is a much more pleasant place than the trailhead, and at the southwest corner sits a restored Katy depot, moved here from its original location a few blocks away. A shady bench here is a great spot for a picnic lunch, or you can check out various restaurants around the square before heading back north. To learn more about this segment, check out its parallel video in our Trailside Geology and Nature series, where we showcase the route's prairie biodiversity, geologic setting, rolling landscape, and more. All our Katy Trail content is now collected in one convenient place on our website, linked below. And if you like this content, we're grateful for any support you can provide, including leaving an easy tip via Ko-fi. See you next time!